Hey, Marlon.
Hi, Nafisa.
Hello.
How are
Okay,
you?
so I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. So it looks like you do have presenter access, so you're all good.
Okay,
I'm
great.
just gonna is Julia your pass
Julia's
leader?
my senior. Yes, Julia is here.
Awesome. Hi,
Julia, can you just
Julia.
unmute and say hello to us?
Yes, hello.
Great. So
Okay,
that's it.
perfect. Yeah, I think you guys are actually good to go. It looks like it's recording already.
Hmm.
Marlon, I don't know if you have the slide from Porna that talks about the accessibility piece. Like, yes,
I
perfect.
do.
So we're just been suggesting to folks, like when everyone is still joining, to have this slide up and then their welcome slide after. Um, yeah, so I think that will work best, but it looks like you guys are all good to go then.
Right.
We just had some problems with the first session. That's not the keynote, the other session, but you guys look good to go.
All right. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so Marlon, do you want me to still stick around and introduce you, or you're gonna do your thing?
Um, I'm okay with both. What's been happening? What's been going on? Because I want to then
For
take charge.
honestly, for today, most of the folks are people that we know very well, so they've just kind of introduced themselves, and we've
Okay.
only
So
been
let's
doing
go
the
with
external
that.
ones. Okay.
Oh, for sure. Let's
Oh,
go with that, and then I'll just turn it over to Julia to introduce herself, and we'll take it over from there.
okay. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe Julia could comment. For me, Marlene, you're kind of chipping in and out the audio, but it could just be on my end. I don't
For
know.
me as well. Yeah, just slightly.
Okay. Let me try using my headset instead.
Mm-hmm.
Does it sound different? Better?
It's the same thing for me. That's so odd.
Turn on high quality fidelity music mode. What about now?
It's still choppy
Anything?
a bit.
Oh, really?
It just happened, so I don't know. You didn't move.
No, I'm in a boardroom we always use here. Is it still Julia?
Yeah, just slightly. It's chopping the ends of your words.
Oh, that's not nice.
Yeah. Do you want to exit and come back in? That
Maybe I'll
want to
just
try
do
that?
that.
Yeah. It's just the two of us, Julia.
Just hanging
How long
out.
have you how long have you been a past leader?
I started in winter of 2024 and I
Nice.
did 4 semesters as a past leader. And I'm starting this semester as a senior leader. So,
Beautiful. What program are you in?
early childhood studies at the University of Guelph Humber.
Oh, nice. GH. Okay, Marlon, do you
Yes.
want to give it a try again?
Yeah, is it better now?
Yes, you are good to
Yes, you're
go.
Okay,
sounding
all
much
right.
smoother.
Okay, great. I think everybody is. Julia, I'm hearing you great, so that's important. So that's nice.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Okay. Alrighty. I'll leave you guys to be. If you see me popping in and out,
That's
it's just
fine.
me looking at the numbers, making sure everyone's good.
No,
So if you
absolutely.
need me, just like send me a quick message, okay?
Mm-hmm. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Alrighty. Good
you.
luck. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Julia, who's doing number 7? Do you remember if you have it on your
Uh,
number?
you're doing number 7 on
Okay, I
my
just wanted to
list.
confirm. Yeah. Let's hope that at 2:30 a few people join us and they're gonna edit these recordings first.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, before they put it up. Hello and welcome to our session. So, hello everyone. I know there's people that's joining right now, so I'm just going to give everyone maybe 2 minutes more just to join. Welcome to our presentation today titled Shaping the Future of Learning, the Role of Peer Assisted Study Sessions or PASS in Student Academic Success. So, in just about a minute or so, we will get started, but thanks for joining. Whilst I wait on others to join, can someone in the chat just give a thumbs up if they're able to see the presentation screen and or hear us clearly? Oh, great. Thank you. So I think to be respectful of everyone's time, we are going to get started now. So good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us today for the presentation titled Shaping the Future of Learning, the Role of Peer-Assisted Study Session in Student Academic Success. I want to start off by just acknowledging the Humber Advising Conference. This is their 10th annual conference, and we're very pleased to present today at the conference. My name is Marlene Ramjeet Samat, and my title here at Humber is Learning Strategist and Services Coordinator. But I'm really proud to say that I am the coordinator of the Peer Assisted Study Session, and I'd be happy to share with you today some of the important work that we're doing behind the scenes in promoting student academic success. Presenting alongside me today is my senior past leader, Julia Telfer, and I'll just turn it over to Julia quickly to just give a brief introduction.
Thank you, Marlon. My name is Julia Telfer, and I am the Senior Past Leader, as well as a University of Guelph Humber student in the Early Childhood Studies program. I've run past sessions for basic concepts of anatomy, along with a few other courses, and now I'm very excited to be supporting all of the courses that we have on our past team.
All right, thank you so much, Julia. So we're going to get started by reading the Humber Land Acknowledgement. So Humber College is located within the traditional and treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, known as Adobigok, the place of the Alders in the Mississauga language. The region is uniquely situated along the Humber River watershed, which historically provided an integral connection for the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples between the Ontario Lakeshore and Lake Simcoe regions. Now home to people of numerous nations, Etobicoke continues to provide a vital source of interconnection for all. So in today's presentation, what we are going to try to share with you is to provide a brief overview of the PASS program. We want to explore a little bit of the history and the principles that really guide our PASS program. We also want to, in keeping with the theme of the conference, which is Future Learners, Future Landscape, Shaping Higher Ed for 2035, we want to explore why the PASS program will persist through 2035. There are things that we believe we are doing that will allow us to stay in existence until that time and even longer. And so we will explore core principles of PASS. We will describe a little bit of what peer facilitation means for us, what active learning means for us, why partnerships and collaboration is important, and how data and analytics will drive the future for us. We will also explore the action plan for PASS to continue into 2035 and beyond. And I'm going to ask you at some point in this presentation to also contribute and tell us how do you believe that PASS is going to shape, or what is it that you can do to help us shape the future of PASS? Julia.
I think this one was still you.
Okay, so in terms of the history of PASS, we want to just describe that the many times we hear the word PASS, and it really stands for peer assisted study session. It really stems though from a supplemental instruction model. And what is supplemental instruction? Supplemental instruction means that we're supplementing what profs are doing in the classrooms. And so as this support mechanism that is in place is whereby we have leaders who come out and in support of the professors, they tend to help students or to guide students through study sessions, understand core concepts. Many institutions across the world use supplemental instruction. At Humber, we wanted to take on a more peer approached way or a more friendly approach, and hence we use the term peer assisted. This particular program started in 1974 at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. And today we have two international organizations that tend to support us, and that is the International Center for Supplemental Instruction. And in Canada, there is the Canadian National Center for Supplemental Instruction. So those are the organizations that supervise and oversees what we do in the past program. Moving along, I think it would be adequate for me to just share with you what is the peer assisted study session, what it is all about. And so peer assisted study session is really a peer led academic support program that follows that supplemental model of instruction. When leaders host group study sessions, they're really building their sessions off of what the profs are teaching on a weekly basis. And they're finding those very difficult portions of that material and trying to demonstrate it in a way that's simpler for students to understand, utilizing that peer approach. This program tends to focus on the courses that have a high drop, withdrawal, or fail rates, and it also targets core and foundational courses. Therefore, the objective of PASS is really to ensure that we're preparing students from the very beginning for success throughout their program. The methods of facilitation are wide and varying, but mainly tend to promote active learning, interactions, collaborations, and some meaningful engagements. It is structured in such a way that we try to increase attendance and participation. We try to facilitate retention of our students and ultimately persistence, but our goal is to ensure that students graduate in a timely manner. And for us, monitor and evaluation our program through our strategic data collection and analysis tends to guide how we do this program in the future. Past leaders and senior past leaders can always tell every single year past looks different. And it's just because we're adopting to new trends and trying to reduce our gaps and barriers.
When we're taking a look at the model of PASS, it follows a supplemental model of instruction, which is really leading to its success being additional to the learning that's happening in the classroom. So there are many key stakeholders in the PASS model, including program heads, coordinators, professors, as well as the PASS coordinator and senior PASS leader, along with our team of past leaders who are facilitating sessions and all of the past participants. Within the model, there are regularly scheduled free group study sessions that happen weekly, sometimes twice a week, with completely optional attendance, allowing students to take ownership for their learning. And these sessions include peer-to-peer facilitation and instruction, which is simply facilitated by our past leaders led by the students' goals. There are several pillars of facilitation that are used by our leaders. The first being facilitation strategies, which is a very fancy way of saying how are the leaders engaging with the students. So some of our favorite strategies are redirecting questions, which includes encouraging students to answer each other's questions during the session, as well as checking for understanding, ensuring students are gaining as much as they possibly can, and waiting time to allow everyone an opportunity to participate. We also promote several learning strategies and metacognition, which is a way of encompassing how are students engaging with the course material. So some of our favorite techniques here include spaced practice, retrieval practice, elaboration, interleaving, concrete examples, and dual coding. And many people have used one of these strategies or know about it, but just may not know what it's called. So a focus of the PASS program as well is metacognition and thinking about how you're going to think and how you're going to learn to increase student success outside of the session. And the final pillar is our collaborative learning techniques. And this focuses on how are students engaging with other students. Some of our favorite strategies here are know, want to know, learned, think, pair, share, jigsaw, clusters, turn to a partner, notes review, concept mapping, predict, test questions, group discussions. We have so many of these, and PASS leaders are constantly coming up with more to fit the needs and the wants of their students to focus on that peer-assisted aspect of the study session.
Thanks, Julia. So now just moving along, and we wanted to present to you today and share with you some of our data. So what does our current past landscape look like? And we're doing a year in review, and we look back to 2024. So in 2024, as we can see, we had supported in the past program 87 courses. And you can see the spread over the winter, the summer, and the fall term. And we're supporting courses both in the Humber Polytechnic as well as the University of Guelph Humber. We wanted to make sure that we are reaching students where they're at and for courses that is most needed. And also, we've also found that about 85 of our percent of our courses are STEM related. And so this for us is very meaningful because it's helping students to engage in content that previously or is sometimes promoted as difficult material. Over this year that we are reviewing, we had about 7,392 interactions with student. So it meant that a leader and a student have engaged at least 7,392 times. Had we not have passed, this engagement was not going to be possible. And you will see later as we go through the slides, we will talk about what are some of those takeaways that leaders and attendees do get from PASS, and therefore the reason why we believe that PASS will persist. Another beneficial aspect of PASS is not only for the students who attend the session, but for our leaders. They go through and they see this as a first opportunity for professional employment. And so we have about, in that year, 93 leaders who have been part of this program and have had such a meaningful contribution to their peers' academic journey. And it's something that within the program we celebrate, and it's a humbling experience because you become such an integral part of someone else's academic journey. So we just wanted to highlight a little bit of our achievement.
Along with everything, we do have some anticipated changes that will impact student academic support by 2035 and beyond. We predict there will be increasing diversity in student demographics and their learning styles, as well as increased influences of technology and a more interconnected world. AI is becoming increasingly involved in our academic careers, especially from my perspective as a student. But it is very critical to not forget about the importance of personalized relationships and student experiences, even within those academic changes that come along with technology. We also anticipate increased mental health and wellness challenges among our student population as students' lives become more complex and the world continues to change and students begin to take on more responsibility within their world, as well as changes in teaching styles, learning environments, and multiple delivery modalities. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, we've experienced increased online learning, which has impacted the way that courses are delivered, even beyond the impacts of that.
No, certainly. And following up on Julia's point, although we anticipate several changes that will impact the past program in years to come, we still believe that there are some core practices that will continue to define us even into 2035. And four of those areas is what we're going to talk about in the next few slides. It's peer facilitation and collaboration. These examples that I'm providing to you right now are really the pillars of the past program. The second one that we believe that is going to persist or define 2035 will remain our active, collaborative, interactive, and engage in learning. Many of our past leaders have to incorporate these into their sessions on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. We cannot do this program all by ourselves, and so we depend on our campus community and the collaborations that we have with our partners. And we know that these partnerships will persist into 2025, and we will need them to continue to have a successful program. And lastly, we believe that data and analytics is going to be super important to drive how we do things and what we do. And in the next few slides, we will show you exactly why these core practices are going to persist into 2035 and then ask for your contribution in helping us to create that action plan.
Before we can look at the practices that will change in the future, it's important to look at the current core practices that we will continue in 2035. So perhaps it might help if you had a bit of an understanding of what is the role of a past leader. So past leaders wear a lot of hats, but some of our main responsibilities are to model successful student behavior by attending classes, engaging, note-taking strategies, planning and facilitating structured sessions, often on a weekly basis, promoting active learning, creating a supportive and inclusive environment. Most past sessions that I've hosted or observed in my time as a past leader, someone is always laughing or smiling, or there's a joke, or there's this moment of tension where everyone is very confused, and then all of a sudden it clicks and everyone feels so comfortable and welcomed. The past leader's role also includes clarifying and helping with the re-engaging of content and not to teach the content. And we say that teachers provide the answers and facilitators provide the question. So we're not teaching the answers, but we are helping students engage with their content, as well as to collaborate with faculty and encourage reflective learning. Along with this, participants have a role within this program. Their role is to be active learners, collaborators, contributors, as well as critical thinkers, feedback providers. Like Marlon mentioned, the program is ever growing, and a large part of that is the data that we collect, but also the real-time feedback of students participating in the program. And their role is also to be committed learners. They're attending these sessions outside of their class time where attendance is not mandatory. So they are taking on a huge role by being committed to their learning. Now we'll take a look at a review of the past program evaluation data. So these are some of the outcomes for those who are attending PASS. So those attending PASS have experienced helpful, supportive, patient flexibility. They share that their leaders are encouraging and motivating. They've maybe had experiences during a session that are promoting clearness, understanding, some insight. Most students who I've spoken with describe their leaders as engaging and friendly, promoting collaboration. Leaders are organized, consistent, effective, focused, structured, as well as welcoming, respectful, comfortable. Anytime I've had the opportunity to observe a past session and go visit, students almost always stop me before I leave and say, are you their supervisor? Are you someone who works with them? And I say, yes, I'm the senior leader. And they say, well, let me just tell you. And they always have so much to say about PASS, and all of these words are certainly reflected in their experiences. Beyond that positive experience, it builds academic skills. They experience clarified concepts, improved understanding, and strengthened skills, reinforcing learning and boosting their confidence, bridging any gaps and boosting academic socialization, providing another setting for students to speak about course content and collaborate with those who they may not get to work with. It can also take the worry out of school in a community-based way and make class easier and more fun, as well as preparing them better for courses in the future. Because of all of these wonderful things that we hear from our attendees about PASS, we've also heard about their outcomes, hearing about higher grades and better understanding. They've become more confident and passed their courses. They've become less stressed, made friends. They become well prepared to reach their own personal goals. They achieve more and stay on track within the course content, not falling behind. And they're able to apply content in real world settings, along with learning new techniques and strategies that carry forward past the session. As valuable as the attendee feedback is, it's the same amount of value we place in our leader feedback. So there is a lot of personal growth, as well as experience and skills from those who are a past leader, including words shared along with rewarding, purposeful, empowering, meaningful, challenging in a good way. And I can speak to that as well. I think my first 2 weeks as a past leader, I was like, oh no, what did I just say yes to doing? But immediately following that, it was challenging, but it challenges you in a good way because it pushes you outside of your comfort zone, and it's very fulfilling and very purposeful work. It's also very confidence building, motivating, and impactful. It's enriching, transformative, eye-opening to things I had never considered before. I gained skills of empathy, patience, confidence, resiliency, as well as accountability, a growth mindset, and cultural awareness. Leaders that I've spoken with who have experience in the role share these experiences as well, and often share that same notion of, well, I wasn't too sure what I was agreeing to, but I'm sure glad that I did, because I've learned so much. Some skills that are developed from past leaders are communicating, facilitating, active listening, presentation and public speaking skills, explaining complex ideas and adapting to challenging situations, providing constructive feedback, as well as self and time management. The past leader role is very flexible in that as leaders, we often get to select our session times, as well as when we complete our tasks. So along with being a student, it provides a lot of skills in time management, as well as session planning, goal setting, and academic coaching. And finally, we see as well team leadership and development, a lot of peer mentorship and conflict resolution. And that's with past leaders experience peer mentorship within their sessions, but also returning past leaders can experience mentorship with new past leaders and sharing their love of past with others, as well as decision making, classroom management, responsibility, dedication, collaboration, and classroom assessment and strategy development for people who go on to fields in maybe teaching, but I've even heard of others who go into fields that seem unrelated, but they carry those skills of leadership with them.
No, certainly. And that is a lot that Julia, I know, have just shared with you, but we really wanted to highlight so many of the transferable skills that both leaders and attendees can get from this that will persist through 2035, thus making, everyone career-ready citizens. And this is something that you gain in addition to the academics. And something that when you have it, although AI becomes a part and technology becomes a part, these are all the soft skills that you're taking along with you and you can adapt them in every situation. So for those reasons, we really wanted to stress the importance of peer facilitation and collaboration into 2035. In this role, and I said it in the introductory slides, I cannot do this without the numerous campus partners that I have been associated with. And on the slide that I have in front, it just shares a couple of those departments and the people that I interact with, either for things like a buy-in, even for helping me to provide content, finding a classroom, approving a work study, exploring opportunities where we can say a student can work multiple roles and we'll make it happen. Sometimes, even for technology, how to get Teams to work. My microphone doesn't work. My computer doesn't connect to the display monitor, and so we depend on several campus partners to making this happen. Not only do they they also provide resources, expertise, and institutional support that we just can't do this alone. And so every time we talk about past, we talk about our campus partners, and we ask that you continue to be supportive of us in this program as we go forward. Here are on the slide, I'm just sharing with you some words that, as feedback we've gotten from some of the collaborators, some of our profs or program head or PCs. And when we look at it, we saw things that said to us, please do not stop what you're doing. Continue because there are several benefits that we're having. There is some purpose in what you're doing. There's some positive, it's growing a positive institutional culture. It's really promoting collective student success. And for those reasons, I think PASS will continue to persist into 2035 despite the many changes that may come upon us. I feel that this is going to be the opportunity for us to become stronger, to be able to embrace any of those changes that will come our way.
Along with those practices of collaboration and learning that we shared, data and analytics is incredibly critical for continuing into 2035. PASS is an individualized program to the courses that are currently happening for the students that are currently in it, and we really promote the collaboration of the students who are in the room where learning is happening. We understand the value of an early intervention and targeted approach, tracking courses that perhaps have a history of significant drop, withdrawal, or fail rates, as well as courses that maybe no longer need that support and may benefit from other academic supports, targeting our support for courses where that data shows that we're able to help student learning, as well as improved instructional design and content adaptation, real-time adaptation to the learning needs of the students. As our world continues to change, the things students need to learn about will continue to change among every discipline and every program. As well, the importance of monitoring and evaluation. Using data can inform future sessions, and feedback can improve program delivery. As a past leader myself, every week I have a QR code for a feedback form that students fill out, and it asks them to share their favorite activity and any activities that didn't really support their learning. And having that opportunity for students to provide feedback allows for the monitoring of their success, and not having at the end of a 12-week or a 14-week semester them share, there's something I wish we could have done. So that real-time data really supports our program, as well as improved access and reduced barriers, allowing us to identify gaps in effectiveness in program offerings, including our attendance and participation, which can improve inclusion, and the targeted design, which will increase our participation in 2035 as well as moving forward.
Yeah, certainly. And just building on that, here is a slide that, just share with us what we've learned as recent as semester of 20, winter of 2025. Within this semester, we offered support to 40 courses across the two campuses. We had over 50 past leaders. We supported 3,860 unique students with a total of 5,222 interactions. So within the semester alone, we've almost come close to whatever we've done in 2024, which says to us that PASS is being a program that students are beginning to see the full benefit and is beginning to become full participants. We also had 34.19% of our targeted population came to us. This number for us, although it's great, it is still a low number. And so for those of you who are in our conversation today, we're saying, knowing the value of what PASS is and what it brings to a student, we're encouraging you to help us to promote the PASS program as that academic support that really encourages collaboration. At the end of every semester, we survey our student users, and many of them have really said to us that this is an amazing program to them and that it's really helping them along their way. They would even tell us what sorts of activity or supports was most beneficial to them throughout the time that they've attended PASS, or by participating in the session, how have they benefited from such a session. So for us, data will continue to be a very important pillar as we, see PASS go through many iterations leading up to the future of 2035 and beyond. And we know that it's input from all of our collaborators and the students and the leaders that will make this happen. Referencing now like our action plan, how do we plan to continue having PASS be or promote student success through the years to come? And we believe, and we spoke about this in many of our slides, we believe that ongoing evaluation and feedback is going to be very important to drive how we do things every single day. We talk about 2035 in this presentation because it's the theme of the conference, but I think it's every day and every semester that we're being bombarded with changes, whether or not it's in a good way or in a not so good way. And so we have to embrace that. We hear from students all the time, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I want, this is best for me, this is when I need it. And so we have to act on those. As a result, we have to do ongoing training and development because sometimes tools and technologies that we may need to use, we may not even have a handle on it. But our young people that is coming into colleges may be well advanced and is wanting those tools or technologies. And so we have to keep up with the training. I think an important piece for us in our future development will be promotion, engagement, and our holistic collaboration. We cannot stress the importance of what collaboration does for this program and how it will continue to be the driving force for us as an institution. And lastly, I think we need to embrace all of the new things that are happening and adapt and be flexible to implement some of the new technologies and methodologies that are going to become available or be available for use in years to come.
We would like to invite you to be part of our action plan and encourage you to collaborate and share with us some of the ways that you can contribute to the success of PASS. So I've brought to share with you today one of my favorite activities that I use in my PASS sessions as a leader, which I call the collaborative document. So I'm going to share a document in the meeting chat, and you should be able to open the link and edit it live with us. There are two questions that I'd like you to answer on the document. And then following a few moments to share, I will go through and read some of the answers, and we're going to be able to have a bit of a discussion. So the questions that we ask of you are, how can you, in your respective role, contribute to the PASS program? And what changes would you suggest to the PASS program to contribute to its success? So I've shared that document in the chat now. Feel free to open it. Go ahead and add your thoughts to it, and we'll regroup in about 3 minutes.
We'd really love to hear from you if you have any contribution to make. It is optional for you to do this. So if you have the time and you're just able to click on the link that Julia shared in the chat, it's called the brainstorm.doc. Just let us know what you think could be things in which, you can help us to promote PASS. And is there any change that you'd like to see, or is there anything that you want us to consider?
Some of the answers that I'm seeing so far, I'll go ahead and share. If you're still typing or still thinking, go ahead. It's the same thing I share in my sessions, and we talked about earlier that wait time, allowing people to contribute by waiting some time. It can be difficult online, and I know there can be a lag, so if you're still typing, please feel free to go ahead. But some ways that you've shared that you in your role can contribute to PASS program is sharing your own challenges and insights about course content. And someone else has shared to conduct more class visits to promote PASS. That's wonderful. Some changes that folks might suggest for the PASS program. One includes hosting more online or hybrid sessions, which is a great suggestion for us to consider as we view how technology continues to adapt our world, and how can we focus on that engagement and collaboration and maintain that personal aspect as our world becomes more digital.
We'll just probably give it about 30 seconds more, and then Julia and I will, begin our wrap up of our presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still seeing some typing in the chat, so we'll give them another about minute or so.
Okay,
They're thinking.
great. And these are all very useful responses that we're seeing come in, because this is the information I take and really work with it and try to incorporate. I want us to have win-win situations every single time, right? It's not always possible, but that's the goal, that's the objective.
For the second question, the changes that folks have suggested, a few more answers have popped through. We have determining sessions before classes begin, as well as using online tools such as Blackboard to promote some homework activities. And up in the top question, how in your respective role can you contribute to the PASS program? We've had another share of sharing own experiences on how to tackle difficult course concepts. That's a strategy I use for sure in my role as a past leader with my students, sharing my experiences, but also in my role as a senior leader, sharing my experiences with past leaders. So it really is that collaboration and the different avenues of collaboration that we're able to promote through the program.
And we really want to thank you for your contribution. I know, sometimes you come to presentations and don't expect that there's work to be done, but there is work to be done always. But we thank you for your contribution. Many of you, sometimes we meet each other in the hallway. If there's something you'd like to share, please feel free as well to do that.
Just as we conclude here, we'll share some final thoughts for you to take home with you. Peer facilitation and collaboration, combined with active, engaging, and interactive learning, are essential to advancing the PASS program as a tried and trusted academic support for now and into 2035 as well as beyond. These elements foster deeper understanding, build student confidence, and create inclusive spaces for shared learning. Campus community collaborations amplify this impact by uniting academic departments, student services, and faculty in a shared mission of student success. As data and analytics become increasingly sophisticated, they will provide timely insights into student needs, instructional effectiveness, and our program outcomes. Together, these components create a dynamic, equity-driven PASS model that adapts to changing learners' profiles and prepares students for lifelong academic resilience.
So for us, those are the reasons why we really wanted to showcase past today. We really wanted to talk about what are the pillars that we believe are most important and what are those core practices that will continue to persist in years to come as past continues to evolve. And so I really wanted to take this opportunity now in saying thank you so much for joining us today to just learn a little bit more about past. But I also wanted to give you the opportunity now, if you do have any questions, any item that you'd like us to discuss further, any clarifications, any contributions you wish to make, and we will try to do our best to provide any answers. However, if we were clear in this presentation, we also want to thank you for, your time and in listening and wish you all the best for the afternoon. But the floor is now yours. If you want to raise your hand, unmute your microphone, it's all over to you. Vinicius, I can see your hand raised. Please go ahead.
Hi, I just want to share how it's interesting that the data point out that past session is really helpful for the students.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes.
How you guys get this data?
Oh, that's a great question. So within the PASS program, every leader and every student has to contribute in terms of attendance taking. And based on that, that's how we track how used is the PASS program. And then, we invite students who are enrolled in the various classes to participate. And so that's how we track how many students attend each session, how many is the total population that we're serving. And at the end of every semester, we send surveys to all of our participants or all students who were invited. There are several methods in which we collect data to be able to inform this program.
That's really interesting. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Yes. Is there any other question or comment from anyone else? Well, with that being said, I really wanted to take the time to say thank you to all of you and to my co-presenter, Julia, for, us going through this presentation. If you ever have any questions beyond today, you can always connect with us at peer.tutoring@humber.ca, and we'll be able to provide you with any other follow-up questions or information that you need from the past program. But thank you again for your time, and we appreciate your support. You are, one of our campus collaborator, your partner. So thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Marlene. It was a great presentation.
Bye. Thank you.